AITA for telling my kids the truth about why they aren't coming to my wife's family villa? My ex-wife Lucy and I have 3 kids. 16F twins and 10M. We divorced 9 years ago after the youngest was born because she came out as lesbian. No hard feelings. I married my now wife Julie 5 years ago after dating for 2. We have 2 kids. 4M and 2F. Julie was a common friend during our marriage and almost as soon as we started to date. Lucy confessed that she had been in love with my wife for several years now, and since Julie is straight and I formed a life with her, it stained our co-parenting and overall relationship. Now thanks to that, she has made very difficult for me to have my kids during my breaks or in special occasions. If I want to do long holidays with them for a month or so, with some of our days trading, she says no. If I want to have them for my birthday, some random off days or my parents' birthdays, she says no. It's really difficult for me because I truly adore my kids and I want to spend as much time with them as I can. My wife and I have to travel to Europe around June for a month and a half to care for her mother. My plan was to take my kids during this time because her parents own a villa close to a small town that looks just like my daughters would say, magical and medieval. I've been there twice, for a week or less, as an emergency trip, and it does look like something that would appear in GOT. I know my kids would love it. Julie's mother isn't bedridden, but we have to make sure she's okay at all times. This can mean being at the villa with her teaching us some of their family traditions, or touring the surrounding towns. And with the European train, I can take them to France, Italy, etc. As you can guess, Lucy said no and wasn't willing to discuss it further. I had to tell my kids that I can't take them and that maybe next time. I didn't mention or involved my ex-wife, and they became bad at me. I endured it as much as I could. But when my son asked if I preferred my new family over them and if Julie doesn't like them anymore, it broke me, and I said that I asked their mother if we could trade custody days so they could come with me. And she said no. I explained that it would make me and Julie very happy if they could come, but that we can't go against their mother wishes. She called me yesterday and called me an off for turning the kids against them because our son cried with her. She allowed me to take them and threw some passive-aggressive comments. But I'm confused. I don't think I turned them against them. They're confused and hurt, so I said the truth. AITA? NTA if you explained it to them as you wrote it here. And frankly, if your ex-wife is still holding a grudge about Julie 5 years into your marriage, then you might consider involving a family mediator to try and get her to see reason. She's hurting the kids more than she's hurting you or Julie. NTA. She was using your kids out of anger. That's not cool. You can never go wrong with being honest with your kids. Time for her to start reflecting on her behavior. Not your problem. NTA. She's been trying to turn the kids against you because she's jealous. People who are trying to manipulate someone are always angry when they get caught. How dare I have consequences of my actions? Quote. NTA. You tried to keep her out of it. Your son questioned you and their stepmother's love. You didn't blame her. You told them to ask her. It was her decision. She should explain it. Tell the Queen of Bitter to learn the meaning of the word co-parenting. She might also want to learn about what an opportunity this is for the kids. NTA. You tried your hardest to keep your ex out of the explanation, breaking only when you saw how much withholding the truth was hurting your kids. It's honestly more than your ex deserves when she's going out of her way to be a thorn in your side. NTA. Your ex is an entitled a-hole. She is using your kids as hostages because your current wife does not return her feelings. NTA. She made her choice, she gets to suffer the consequences of that. NTA. Don't you have joint custody, and if not, why? At 16, the girls should have more freedom to choose. You should talk to an attorney about the custody issues. NTA. If you said it like this: your ex-wife is using your children as a pawn to hurt you and your wife out of spite, and she's trying to hurt your relationship with your kids. You were just telling your children the truth because you wanted to preserve your relationship with them, because they thought you didn't want them. Now she's mad that your kids called her out? Nah. She doesn't get to play the victim. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. Edit. Missing word. NTA. Your wife is actively hurting the kids just to spite you, even though she's the reason the marriage ended. NTA. Your ex was playing games and harming your relationship with the kids. It's reasonable that you were honest about the reason your kids couldn't go with you. Info. Do you need your ex's permission to take the kids out of the country? Did she give it before the comment? If she didn't give permission if it's needed, that is a good way to tell them that you legally need her permission and she did not give it. It is factual and you aren't saying anything bad about her. But you are also NTA for telling your kids the truth when they thought you didn't love them because they couldn't go, when that is the farthest from the truth there is. Do you have a lawyer? If not, find one and save messages from ex about why she's denying you access to the kids. Then court. She's being awful and going to hurt the kids in the long run. NTA. You told them the truth. She is keeping them away from you. Info. Did she make any compromise, like they can stay for a few weeks or so and then travel home? Since the oldest two are old enough to travel alone, and make sure their brother would also be fine. A month and a half is a long time for any parent to just not see her kids, and I assume that would be a lot of custody days for her missing. Info. Why isn't there a custody agreement that outlines when you get the kids, etc.? NTA. Sounds like she was planting seeds in their heads and is using the kids out of spite. NTA. Your kids thought you were replacing them, and that is so much worse than the actual truth. I'm so sorry. Your ex is using your children as weapons in a war she started because you married someone she was into who couldn't reciprocate those feelings. You mention Europe. I don't know how custody goes where you live. But is there any way to get a court-ordered arrangement in place that your ex can't fight? NTA. You told your kids the truth and not letting them put in their head that you enjoy your new family, when honestly you love them to the moon and back, and what love to take them. Honestly, that's on your ex-wife, and she's trying to make it difficult because your new wife don't feel the same, and still, but because most likely she confessed to old girl, said she liked her and she didn't return the feelings. Honestly, I don't have enough information to judge the situation. I like to think it's not as simple as her being petty. And I'm only saying this because I long planned a trip to Europe to some charming castle places with my teenage nephew, and it has been delayed consistently for the past 12 months because of the Rona. Because neither one of us want to be stuck quarantining somewhere. And because the places where we were going were frankly way too close to the Ukrainian war for me, or for either of his parents to be comfortable with. NTA. You told the kids the truth and they are old enough to understand the situation. Good on you for giving them the knowledge and power to see the truth so they can make decisions for themselves. It's important that they know that mom is manipulative in certain circumstances. It doesn't mean you want them to hate her. You just want them informed about the truth. As they mature, they're going to figure out how to deal with her and her nonsense. You are just giving them insight for future events.
If you enjoyed this video, Please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.